we'll have this place cleaned up and ready for us in the jiffy, son. Don't you worry.
Movie palaces with sticky floors, a karate champion in a Colosseum, puppets with enormous heads on a Saturday morning, the mafia lawyer who never raised his voice, and the housewife everyone watched 5 nights a week. These were the faces of a decade that felt larger than life, and the ones who carried it are leaving us now one after another. Today we look at 70s Hollywood stars who died so far in 2026. He was the boy who staged his own fake funerals. In 1971's Harold and Maude, Bud Cort played Harold Chasen, a death-obsessed young man who falls for a woman of 79, and it became one of the defining cult films of the decade. Before that, director Robert Altman found him and cast him in 2 1970 pictures, a small part in Maish and the lead in Brewster McCloud. The performance earned him Golden Globe and BAFTA nominations. Then came The Trap. Audiences could only see him as that owlish, morbid boy, and the parts that fit were few. A serious car accident near the end of the decade pulled him away from the work for years. Yet later generations found him again, in Dogma and in Wes Anderson's The Life Aquatic. Sadly, Bud Cort passed away on February 11, 2026, at the age of 77, from complications of pneumonia. Harold and Maude still plays in repertory houses more than 50 years on, and his straight-to-camera glance remains one of film's great deadpan moments. He rarely raised his voice, and he never had to. In The Godfather in 1972 and its sequel in 1974, Robert Duvall played Tom Hagen, the family consigliere who held power quietly while everyone around him shouted. He was never the leading man of the decade, and that is exactly why the work aged so well. Then came Apocalypse Now in 1979, where he played the surfing colonel who loved
I love the smell of napalm in the morning.
earning an Oscar nomination from barely 15 minutes of screen time. He was the ruthless television executive in Network, the punishing father in The Great Santini. The 70s set him up for everything that followed. His Academy Award for Best Actor came in 1983 for Tender Mercies, and Lonesome Dove waited just beyond it. He was nominated for 7 Oscars across 6 decades. Sadly, Robert Duvall passed away on February 15, 2026 at the age of 95 at his ranch in Middleburg, Virginia. His Tom Hagen is still studied by actors who want to learn how stillness can command a room. He was 18 when he stood opposite John Wayne. Robert Carradine made his film debut in 1972's The Cowboys, then found himself in the middle of the decade's Vietnam reckoning with Hal Ashby's Coming Home in 1978. He belonged to the great Carradine acting dynasty, son of John, younger brother to David and Keith. The Big Red One in 1980 closed out his serious actor stretch, before a comedy called Revenge of the Nerds turned him into Louis Skolnick and redefined how a generation saw him. 2 decades later, a new one met him as the warm, goofy dad on Lizzie McGuire. Behind the easy screen presence, though, was a long and private fight. His family said he had lived with bipolar disorder for nearly 20 years. Tragically, Robert Carradine passed away on February 23, 2026, at the age of 71. He took his own life, and his family chose to speak of it openly, hoping to ease the stigma around mental illness. the youngest of his famous family, he leaves behind a daughter who acts and a Louis Skolnick laugh that still echoes through late-night cable. He was a genuine world karate champion before a camera ever found him. Undefeated through the early 70s, that credibility was real, not manufactured. When his friend Bruce Lee invited him to play a villain in 1972's Way of the Dragon, the two squared off in the Roman Colosseum in what many still call the most famous martial arts sequence ever filmed. Norris lost that fight on screen. Off-screen, it made him. Good Guys Wear Black in 1978 and A Force of One in 1979. Launched him as a leading man and built the entire template for 80s action. Then came Walker, Texas Ranger, and after that, a strange third life as an internet legend, the punchline of 1,000 jokes about his invincibility. Few stars from his era stayed famous. His roundhouse kick against Bruce Lee is watched and rewatched by people who were not yet born when he threw it. A Las Vegas showgirl walked into Hollywood, and the screen never quite recovered. Valerie Perrine made her debut in 1972's Slaughterhouse-5, then reached her peak in 1974 with Lenny playing Honey Bruce opposite Dustin Hoffman. That performance won her Best Actress at Cannes and an Academy Award nomination. But most of this audience knows her for one deadpan line and a name drawn out with a scream. She was Eve Teschmacher, Lex Luthor's girlfriend, in 1978's Superman and its sequel, standing beside Gene Hackman as Christopher Reeve saved the world. Her showgirl years explained the presence she carried into every frame. She ended the decade with the gleeful disaster of Can't Stop the Music, a beat she could always laugh about. In her later years, she spoke openly of her Parkinson's diagnosis. Sadly, Valerie Perrine passed away on March 23, 2026, at the age of 82. From complications of the disease she had fought since 2015. The only major female film star on this list, she remains for millions, the reason a single name still gets shouted at a movie screen. Miss Teschmacher. Start with the pictures, because that is how a generation remembers him. The Sleestaks, the dragon who ran Living Island, the lunchbox worlds of Saturday morning that were somehow both delightful and a little terrifying. With his brother Marty, Sid Krofft built children's television as we know it, from H.R. Pufnstuf to Sigmund and the Sea Monsters to the Boogaloos. Land of the Lost, which arrived in 1974, is the one that traumatized a generation in the best possible way. He was a puppeteer first, working nightclubs and variety stages long before children's TV, even sharing bills with the great Vegas performers of his time. The brothers crossed into prime time with the Donnie and Marie Show. Sadly, Sid Krofft passed away on April 10, 2026 at the age of 96 of natural causes, 3 years after losing Marty. Those psychedelic hand-built worlds still run in reruns, and grown adults can hum the Pufnstuf theme without missing a beat. Many may not know the name, but they know the face. James Handy was the classic character actor, the cop, the boss, the detective, the man behind the desk who made every scene feel grounded. He came up through theater in New York before film and television found him, and that stage discipline is why he read so real. He was the bad boss in The Rocketeer and the police captain type in Arachnophobia, with a long run of work stretching from The Verdict through Jumanji, Unbreakable, and most recently Top Gun: Maverick. His was a career built quietly, decade after decade, on being the trusted face in the corner of the frame. Then came a shocking end. Tragically, James Handy passed away on June 3, 2026, at the age of 81, fatally stabbed at his home in the Tarzana neighborhood of Los Angeles. A man was charged with his murder. He is the reminder that some of the most familiar faces of that era never needed top billing to earn a place in the memory. She was the mother holding a household together around an alien puppet. But before that role, Schedeen filled out one of the era's busiest television resumes, with recurring turns on Emergency and Three's Company through the mid to late 70s and guest spots across the decade's episodic staples. There was even the short-lived Paper Moon series, adapted from the film, with a young Jodie Foster. Her defining part came later, though. From 1986 to 1990, she played Kate Tanner on Aleph, the no-nonsense mom keeping the government from discovering the creature crash-landed in her garage. She later described the shoot honestly, as a technical grind that could stretch a half-hour episode into a full day around a puppet worked from beneath the set. She largely stepped away from acting after Alf, rather than chase a comeback. Sadly, Schedeen passed away on June 14, 2026, at the age of 77. Her family did not disclose a cause, announcing her death with a warm tribute to a woman they called a force. Kate Tanner still plays daily somewhere in syndication, the calm human center of one of television's oddest households. She was famous in a way that no longer exists. Louise Lasser starred in 1976's Mary Hartman. Mary Hartman, Norman Lear's satire of the American soap opera, a deadpan comedy that ran 5 nights a week and became a genuine cultural event. It was the most purely 70s thing anyone on this list ever made. Rejected by every network, the show went straight into syndication and beat the system anyway, running 325 episodes and earning Lasser an Emmy nomination and the covers of magazines. Before all that, she had been Woody Allen's leading lady in Bananas, Take the Money and Run, and Everything You Always Wanted to Know About Sex. The two had been married in the late 60s. She hosted Saturday Night Live in its very first season. In her later years, she taught acting for a long time, passing the craft on. Sadly, Louise Lasser passed away on July 6, 2026 at the age of 87 of natural causes, at her home in Manhattan. Mary Hartman, in her pigtails and gingham, endures as a portrait of a weeknight America that gathered at the same hour to watch the same strange, brilliant show. Few actors can say they changed an actual profession. Randolph Mantooth can. From 1972 to 1977, right through the heart of the decade, he played paramedic Johnny Gage on NBC's Emergency, running 6 seasons alongside Kevin Tige. The show did something almost no drama ever does. It is widely credited with driving the spread of paramedic programs across the United States, and to this day, firefighters and EMTs say it is the reason they took the job. He was a real teen idol in the bargain, magazine covers and fan mail by the sack. He spoke openly about his Native American heritage, unusual for a network leading man of that time. When the series ended, he built a long second career in daytime soaps and spent decades working with real fire service organizations, telling the crowds who thanked him that they were the heroes, and he was just the face. Sadly, Randolph Mantooth passed away on July 9, 2026, at the age of 80, at a hospice in Ventura, California after a long battle with cancer. Somewhere right now, a paramedic is doing the job because a young man in a fire helmet once made it look like the most important work in the world. Ten faces, one decade, and a strange range of endings, from a hospice bed to a Colosseum's worth of legend, to a death no family should have to explain. What connects these people is not only the years they were famous, but how completely they belonged to a way of watching that has slipped away. The crowded movie house, the syndicated weeknight ritual, the Saturday morning that felt like a whole world. Which of these stories touched you the most, or shocked you the most? Share your thoughts in the comments below. And if you love uncovering the real stories behind the stars of Hollywood's golden years, do not forget to like, subscribe, and join us for more. Thank you for watching.